Welcome to Jank Play TCG. My name's Landon and here we play Jank. And today I'm going to be showing you the deck that I call Big Worm. Because it all revolves around Orthworm here. Very similar to the Wishiwashi in the Swordfish deck that I showed off. We're kind of just going with Orthworm this time. Which is less damage output, but again, more energy on it means more HP. So let's go ahead and jump into the card here, which we are of course playing 4 of. It is a basic Pokemon with 130 HP, which normally is not that bad. It doesn't evolve, so we're not expecting it to go higher. However, it does have the ability Nutritional Iron. If this Pokemon has 3 or more energy attached, it gets plus 100 HP. So you're up to 230, and if you remember, that's how high, that's the max that we got Swordfish up to, right? Except with Swordfish, we used Bravery Charm to get it up to that point. Orthworm is a basic and can take advantage of Bravery Charm, so of course we have that in the deck as well, and you're looking at a 280 HP Pokemon that gives up 1 prize. And that might seem a little ridiculous, if not broken. However, I do think there's a small drawback. Shoot Through is a 4 energy attack, 4 energy. So it's 1 more energy than you need for its ability, and it only does 100 damage. It does, however, do 30 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. As soon as they get Manaphy out, that's kind of pointless. It won't be doing the bench damage, but still 100 damage. It's not bad. We're not manipulating this damage either, so we're not doing 130 with a Choice Belt because we're using Bravery Charm. So it's just a flat 100. And that might seem terrible. And I'm not going to disagree with you. However, we are using Radiant Alakazam and its Painful Spoon's ability, where once during your turn you may move up to 2 damage counters from one of your opponent's Pokemon to another of their Pokemon. So it lets you manipulate damage counters in such a way where you're going to hopefully get KOs quicker than you would imagine. Also, Orthworm is a metal Pokemon, and currently on the ladder I can't go more than 2 matches without running into Chien-Pao, who is weak to metal. And one of my favorite things is Shoot Through will do 100. Chien-Pao's weak, so it does 200. Chien-Pao has 220 HP. However, Shoot Through, you're doing 30 damage to a bench Pokemon. You use Radiant Alakazam to move that 20 of that 30 onto Chien-Pao, and you get a KO. And it often happens mid-turn, mid-your turn, so they're, a little confused and have to put something else up into the active spot, and then you get to attack that and put 30 more on the bench. I actually just recorded the Wednesday short, how I do shorts on Wednesday of the deck that I'm featuring this week. The Wednesday short was against Chien-Pao. I did exactly that twice. It was phenomenal. Absolutely loved it. Hopefully you guys check out that short because it's a lot of fun to see that match. Now, you might be wondering to yourself, 4 energy is a lot. That is 4 turns of attachments to try to get Orthworm just to do 100 damage. And you're right, that is a lot. That is why we are playing Magnezone here. Magnezone has this Giga Magnet ability. Once during your turn, you may look at the top 6 cards of your deck, attach any number of metal energy cards you find there to your Pokemon in any way you like. Shuffle the other cards back into your deck. So we are trying to accelerate energy with Magnezone, and we only look at the top 6 cards. It's not that much, but we can use this ability from the bench, which is great. We are playing 2 Magnemite and 3 Magnezone because we really just want 2 Magnezones out, but Magnemite we can grab with a Hisuian Heavy Ball, where Magnezone, if it's prized, we're just kind of stuck within the prizes. So we are playing 3 just in case 1 gets prized. If 2 gets prized, we're going to be in trouble because ideally we want 2 Magnezones out. And with 2, I have found it pretty easy to get Orthworm up and going in a single turn. So that's pretty fantastic. We are, of course, playing Manaphy because if anything's hitting the bench, they're not hitting the active. They can take out some smaller Pokemon we're playing, or just target different Pokemon that maybe we haven't gotten energy onto. And we are playing Mew. See, we aren't playing your standard draw in the deck, which is going to be difficult for this deck. It is a Jank deck, after all. But we are using Mew with Mysterious Tail. Once during your turn, if this Pokemon is in the active spot, you may look at the top 6 cards of your deck, reveal an item card you find there, put it into your hand, shuffle the other cards back into your deck. So Mew is going to be looking at the top 6 cards, taking items. You know, we need our rare candies for Magnezone, we need our Nest Balls to get our basics out, we need our Super Rods in order to recover energy and Pokemon. We need a lot of items, right? And Mew's how we're going to do that. So Mew is going to be removing item cards from the deck, Magnezone is going to be removing energy from the deck, and that's where I'm hoping we will be drawing naturally into the more supporters that we have, right? So really quick, we're done with Pokemon. That's it, just 15 Pokemon, pretty easy list there. We've got 12 Metal Energy. We don't have any special energy, we ain't fancy, right? 12 Metal Energy, let's just get 3 attackers up and going. So we need ways to reuse this energy, right? And so we do have 4 copies of Super Rod. Now, the idea is, with 4 copies of Super Rod, we are able to recover up to 12 cards, right? With Super Rod, you shuffle up to 3 in any combination of Pokemon and basic energy cards from your discard pile into your deck. Now, there's 12 cards we can recover, and if you just go, oh, we recover, 12 more energy, that's 3 more attackers, that's great, right? Well, no, we do have to recover 2 Pokemon. So we'll only recover 10 more energy. However, we're not really expecting to be attacking with 6 Orthworms, right? We're going to be attacking with 5 of them. We're most likely going to have a Mew be KO'd, and that will count as one of the prizes. However, what you can do, I believe, is recover 2 Pokemon, 10 energy, and have a couple attacks with Magnezone. I haven't done the math myself, but I think it all works out. Let me know in the comments if you think this could be changed, because it is one area where it's like, well, maybe if I take out 2 Super Rods, I can throw in 2 Energy Recyclers, let me know how you change this deck, right? So we're playing 2 Rare Candy because we have 2 Magnemite, and we just need 2 Magnezones out. If one gets KO'd, that will be a bit difficult for us, but we've dealt with that before in the testing. We play 2 Switch here in case they gust up a Magnezone to buy a turn, or something along those lines. I've even used it to switch Mew into Mew, use Mew's ability twice, that way I can try to find the item I need. And then, of course, with Mew, we've got 3 copies of Beach Court, reducing our basic Pokemon's retreat down to 0, or Mew's retreat down to 0, so we can freely retreat into something else, and we can keep that going in that way. So we are playing 4 copies of Iono, because Iono is a great shuffle draw sort of business, and it's also disruption and all that stuff. And when we get down to the end of the game here, we are playing with a fairly small deck, and we want Iono in here in order to shuffle things back into the deck, draw less cards, all that. So it can save us later on. Of course, as I've mentioned, we're playing 1 Hisuian Heavy Ball. Search for a basic Pokemon out of your prize cards, and it goes into your hand, but you'll be able to put it on your bench later. Next, we've got the 4 copies of Bravery Charm I already mentioned that increase our HP by 50. 4 copies of Nest Ball that let us grab a basic Pokemon and put it onto the bench. 3 copies of Capturing Aroma. Now, Capturing Aroma, you flip a coin, and if heads, you find an evolution. If tails, you find a basic Pokemon. This was an Ultra Ball at one point, or 3 Ultra Balls, but that discard was just too much for the deck to handle. We are playing 4 copies of Mew in order to try to start Mew, but, it doesn't mean we'll always have a Mew to discard for Ultra Ball. So Capturing Aroma is what we landed on, and there are times where you really need that Magnezone. You've even got the Rare Candy in hand, and you flip tails, you know? It happens. Or it's the beginning of the game, turn 1, you don't even have Magnemite out. You're not worried about that. You're trying to get your basics out, and you flip heads, right? It happens, but Capturing Aroma is still a very powerful card. We've got 2 copies of Arven, because sometimes Rare Candy doesn't just magically flow into your hand. Whether it is from Mew or whether it is just drawing from the top of the deck, sometimes Rare Candies like to hide. And so Arven not only lets us get a Rare Candy, but also a Bravery Charm, so our Orthworms aren't being KO'd that fast. And last but not least, 4 copies of Serena, making a comeback here. I am a big fan of this Serena card. Not only does it let you discard up to 3 cards from your hand and then draw up until you have 5 cards in your hand, you can also, or instead, switch one of your opponent's benched Pokemon V with their active Pokemon. It's gusting up Pokemon V. Now, it does not work on single prize Pokemon, does not work on Radiant, does not work on Pokemon EX, but it does work on all Pokemon V. And since those are still pretty big in the format, I do find it to be quite useful. And that is the deck. So let's go ahead and jump into test deck so I can show you how this deck usually performs, right? So we are going to have to jump in here and, cool. Sorry, just checking my messages, and I'm going to be playing Warhammer tonight. But the night that I record, not the night that this goes out. Do you want to go first? Yes. So, I just learned how to play Warhammer, so we're going to be playing some. It's a pretty fun game. Just went through a recent reset. But you guys aren't here for Warhammer. You're here for Pokemon. So we are starting Radiant Alakazam. Possibly the worst start we can get. And we are playing against a grass deck. Now the grass deck thing is actually kind of in our favor because all metal types resist grass Pokemon. So that's actually pretty good to us. However, oh no. Oh no, oh no, oh no. This is not a grass this is not a grass deck. This is Lost Zone. Oh no. I know I said that at least once before, but this is not good. Lost Zone, as always, is the worst thing for any single prize deck. Sableye gets around, no item card, come on. Alright. Enter. Sableye gets around Manaphy. Cramorant does a solid amount of damage. Giratina, we're not too concerned about Giratina. But everything else is concerning. Cramorant, with 110 HP, means it just protects itself enough from being KO'd by Orthworm. They do switch Giratina into the active, which makes no sense, but it is the AI, so we'll have to give them a break. We're going to Mysterious Tail first because we really need a Nest Ball, thank you. We really need to get a basic Pokemon out, which is definitely going to be Orthworm. We've got all 4 Orthworms. Feeling good, feeling good. We can attach an energy. We can play a Bravery Charm onto it. We can even play this Mew, and I will go ahead and attach a Bravery Charm to it, and then we will Serena, discarding another Metal Energy and drawing up. We got another Nest Ball. This time we're going Magnemite, right? Next turn, we've got Iono. Of course, that is if instead we do not get our Magnezone off the top deck. So we're going to go ahead and Mysterious Tail yet again. And we will get a Switch or Super Rod. Let's go Super Rod. Just because we've already had to discard 2 Metal Energy, which is not great. But I think we're good there. Not too concerned about using the Manaphy. The Manaphy can be discarded with the Serena later on. What we really need to do is get focused on the Magnemite, trying to get that up and running. Because once we have Magnezone, we'll be able to accelerate energy and things will be way better. So they're going to go ahead and escape rope. We're going to put up the Mew. They've only got 3 cards in the Lost Zone. So Cramorant isn't going to KO this Mew anytime soon. Now the sad thing is that this Cramorant does 110, which is exactly how much a Mew with a Bravery Charm is, right? So let's go ahead. We will Mysterious Tail. We do get the Rare Candy. So now we are hunting for the Capturing Aroma in order to try to get a Magnezone out. We will Mysterious Tail again. No, we don't get it. Dang, that would have been a great Magnezone, though. We can Arven for one. I'm going to. I don't like this play that much. You know, using a supporter to get a flippy card doesn't feel great to me. But at worst case scenario, we will get our Orthworm out. Bravery Charm on that. No, we get the Magnezone. Holy cow, yes! Yes! Okay. Let's get the Magnezone out. We'll go ahead, look at the top 6 cards. Grab any Metal Energy we find there. We find 2. That's going to increase its HP to 280. There we go. And the likelihood of this Mew being KO'd is pretty low, in my opinion. So that's pretty good, right? They do have 4 cards in the Lost Zone, 5 cards in the Lost Zone, so it could happen. They just need this Cramorant to get into the active. But it's the AI. I'm not expecting them to play that well. Well, there's a cross switcher, so what's going to happen? Magnezone into the active. Of course that happens. Holy cow. The one thing I was like, oh, I hope this doesn't happen. It happened. It happened. All right, we've got Iono, so we can go ahead and use Iono. Shuffle our hand play at the bottom of our deck, draw 6 new cards. We do not get the switch, which is just terrible. We're going to go ahead and Giga Magnet. We hit 4 energy. All right, this is going to feel crazy to me, but we are going to go 1, 2 on Magnezone, 1 on Orthworm, and 1 on the other Orthworm. And we're going to retreat the Magnezone. I know we could just attack and be good, but we want to save this Magnezone if possible, right? So let's go ahead, shoot through. We're going to deal 30 damage to one of these Pokemon. Let's go ahead and do it to Giratina, right? Giratina has 220 currently. So if we just take 10, put it on the Cramorant, that'll get KO'd, right? So, oof, there is the Sableye. There's another Giratina. All this is so frightening. Yep, they attack with Cramorant. So mid-turn, we are going to move some damage counters, just 1 from this Giratina onto the Cramorant. That's all we want to do, just the 1. So the Giratina still has 20 damage on it because it has 220 HP. It's now 2 hits away from being KO'd. We've got some Serenas here, which is pretty cool. Do we want to attack the Comfey, or do we want to just deal damage to the Giratina? I'm kind of leaning towards just damaging the Giratina. So using the Serena in order to gust up the Giratina sounds like the best play to me. We will shoot through, do 100 to this Giratina, and then we'll do 30 to the Sableye, because that Sableye is going to be scary later on. Now, if they evolve up, this is going to change the numbers, so we need to be prepared for that, and I think I am. The goal then is going to be Thornton. The Cramorant. Oh man, they just KO'd their own Cramorant, but that only gives us 1 prize instead of the 2 we were going to grab next turn. Now, in my opinion, that's a fun strategy. I've done that before. It is a fun time, but I'm not sure if they are prepared for it, right? So we do have another Serena. We can just gust up the Giratina V-Star that just hit the field, and that would open up some funness to be had for sure. Bravery Charm, perfect. We'll throw that on Orthworm. We will go ahead and Giga Magnet here. Still no Metal Energy. Jeez, this Orthworm on the bench is so low on energy. But we're going to go ahead Serena and gust up this Giratina, which does not have any energy onto it. And we will shoot through it. Now, we're going to deal 100 to this Giratina, right? And then 30 to this Sableye. But look at the numbers, right? Giratina's still 2 hits away, and we'll be dealing 20 more damage than needed onto this Giratina. So, we might as well Painful Spoons. Oh, we get Metal Energy for that Orthworm. We're going to Painful Spoons here. 20 energy from the Giratina onto the Sableye, and grab this KO mid-turn. Beautiful. And we're still 2 turns away from KOing the Giratina. That's the fun thing about Radiant Alakazam, fixing the numbers so much in these situations. Giga Magnet. Come on, 1 energy. No? None? Oh, this is nuts. Alright. I don't want to Iono yet because I've got an Orthworm in hand. And so, 30 damage to... Yeah, sure, that Comfy. Alright, so we can get 60 damage done to this Comfy by the next turn. However, if they move one of these Comfies into the active after I KO this Giratina, that's going to be kind of wasteful, right? So let's see. We will just go ahead and Giga Magnet again. Now, I also don't want to Iono because it seems like our opponent is in a tough situation with their hand. They aren't really getting the energy they need. They aren't retreating, anything like that. So we're just going to do Shoot Through again. And deal 30 damage, yes, to that Comfy. But we get the KO for the Giratina, and we have one prize remaining. That's it. That is the deck. Look, we even got a Super Rod, which I would definitely play next turn. Shuffle some of this energy back into the deck, make Giga Magnet a little bit better, and try to attach some more energy. So they did Ultra Ball, it looked like, for a Giratina, but I don't think that's really going to matter. It might have been a V-Star, which is why they aren't playing it, but it's just not going to matter, right? They even put the Comfy up with the 60 damage on it already. Comfies are weak to Orthworm, so we are getting the KO, no worries there. So we're going to go ahead, Super Rod, 1, 2, 3, done. Then Giga Magnet. Just because, right? We finally get one energy. Put that down on Orthworm. And I'm good. I'm sitting pretty. I'm just going to shoot through and be done with it. Oh, 30 damage on that one. That one has energy. There we go. That's it. That's the deck. That actually played out way better than you should expect. But it was the AI. These aren't... When I do test deck, this is just to show you the flow of the deck. It is not to show you the deck in action against people. That's the next 5 games that you'll see. The 4 games of me with commentary, and then the one short that I've already talked about. Already spoiled a little bit against Chim-Pao. It was a fantastic match. So what do you think of Orthworm? What do you think of Big Worm, the name of the deck that I'm playing? Let me know down in the comments how you would play it differently. And be sure to... like this video, subscribe to the channel so you see the rest of the games with Big Worm, and join the Discord where there's a lot of cool people, and that is where I get like viewer requests to play against people when I live stream, and I really want to live stream again. That was so much fun. Yeah, thank you so much for watching, and of course, until next time, keep playing Jank.